All right, let's just get right into it. We need to talk about a question that I know is on the minds of so many brilliant, talented people in the AI world. And that question is, if I'm this good at what I do, why isn't my bank account reflecting that?
I mean, you're out there absolutely crushing it, right? Maybe you're what we call an AI vibe coder, just spinning up incredible things in the cloud. Or maybe you're a workflow expert, a master of tools like Make.com, connecting all the pieces. You could be an AI consultant, a systems integrator. The point is, the opportunities are everywhere, and the demand for what you do, it's through the roof. But, and here's the really frustrating part, despite all that skill, despite that huge demand, for a lot of you, the millions just aren't happening. And look, this isn't a new story. We saw the same thing happen with Facebook ad experts, with Zapier automation gurus. Being great at a specific technical skill has never been the direct path to getting wealthy. So, what is going on? What's the missing piece of the puzzle?
And that, right there, is the fundamental question we have to dig into. We've got to look past the skill itself and really figure out the root cause for why so many talented people hit this incredibly frustrating financial ceiling.
And here it is. This is the whole game. The single most important concept is that wealth is not a reward for being smart or for working hard. It is a direct result of one thing: leverage. Think about it like this. An author writes a book one time. That's the work. But that one single effort can be sold millions and millions of times to people all over the world. They did the hard work once, and a system takes over and multiplies the result. That, my friends, is leverage.
See, without leverage, you become what we can call a slave to time. Your income is literally handcuffed to the hours you put in. It doesn't matter if you're the best coder on the planet or the sharpest consultant in the room. If you are trading your time for money, you're stuck on a treadmill. The second you stop running, the money stops coming in. Period. And just look at how clear this is when you put the two paths side by side. Your current path is all about you, your skills, your time. And because there are only so many hours in a day, your income will always have a hard ceiling. But the leverage path, that's about building systems that do the work for you, breaking that link between your income and your time and letting you truly scale.
So how do we actually build this leveraged path? Well, it's not some kind of magic trick. It's a framework. We can actually break it down into 4 key pillars that create the entire foundation for real, sustainable scale.
These are the 4 things you have to get right. You've got to pick the right market, define the right problem and the right way to solve it, create a leveraged way to get clients in the door, and then, and this is key, build a system to deliver for them that doesn't depend entirely on you. So let's break these down one by one.
Okay, first up, market selection. This is ground zero. This is leverage point number 1, and it is absolutely non-negotiable. Who you choose to serve is going to have a bigger impact on your success than pretty much any other decision you make. And you've got to think about this strategically. Look, if your goal is to get to that first $100,000 month as fast as you can, you target businesses. Why? Because they have obvious, expensive problems that you can solve with a lot less friction. But if you want to build a real empire, if you're aiming for millions a month, you eventually have to go after consumers. Just think about all the huge software companies that started out by solving one niche problem for businesses. Once they owned that market, where did they go? They launched a product for you and me to get to that next level of crazy growth. All right, that brings us to pillar 2. This builds right on top of the first one. It's not just who you serve, it's what you solve, and critically, how you solve it. You have to find expensive problems. That's what lets you charge a lot. But the real game-changing leverage comes from your mechanism, the actual way you deliver that solution.
Let me give you a perfect example from my own journey. I used to sell an appointment-setting service on a monthly retainer. It was the classic slave-to-time business model. Then I made a pivot. Instead of a service, I started selling the entire system as an asset that the client would own forever. The result? I went from charging $1,500 a month to making $50,000 in the very first month of that new model. Same core skill, totally different mechanism, infinitely more leverage.
And this, right here, is the mindset shift you have to make. When you sell a service, you're getting paid for your time. But when you sell an asset, a system, a process, a piece of software, you get to charge based on its future value to your client. It's like how an investor values a company. You're selling potential, not just hours.
Okay, pillar 3, getting clients. And this one might sting a little, but it's a hard truth. If you, the founder, are spending your days doing tasks that you could pay a virtual assistant $5 an hour to do, like manual cold outreach, then you are effectively valuing your own time at $5 an hour. That is the ultimate leverage killer.
I mean, you can literally see the difference in leverage here. You doing the outreach yourself, that's the lowest leverage activity you can possibly do. Having a team do it for you, better. But the highest leverage plays by far are systems that work for you 24/7, like creating content and running paid ads.
And let's just focus on content for a second, because it is the most powerful, permissionless leverage on Earth. Think about it. You create one valuable thing, one time, and it can attract, persuade, and warm up new clients for you forever. It could be a YouTube channel teaching your craft, a blog post that ranks on Google, an automated email course. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's an asset working for you while you sleep. And finally, we get to the fourth pillar, which, for a lot of people, is the hardest one of all: scalable fulfillment. Because after you've nailed the first three, the single biggest thing holding back your growth is often you, and more specifically, your ego. The very expertise that got you to this point can become your own trap.
You fall in love with being the person, right? The one who delivers the incredible results, the expert who's totally indispensable. But you have to stop and ask yourself this question and be really honest. Were you actually put on this earth just to help 5 clients a month? Is that really the biggest impact you're capable of making? Of course it's not.
And that realization brings us to the final and most important shift in your thinking. It's about moving your entire identity away from being just a skilled person and toward becoming an architect of scale. So forget about serving 5 people a month. The real goal is to build systems that let you serve thousands, maybe even more. Look at something like ChatGPT. It serves over 1 billion users every month through an incredibly scalable system. That is the kind of power we're talking about with scalable fulfillment.
In the end, it all comes down to a single choice. To get to those next levels, you have to consciously say no to the small-scale, hands-on model, and instead commit to building something that can impact thousands of people, not in a month, but in a single hour.
So I'll leave you with this one question. As you look at these 4 pillars, market, mechanism, acquisition, and fulfillment, what is the one single thing you can do, starting today, to stop being a slave to time and start building real, powerful, scalable leverage into your business?